Those days. I remember those days.
Hello, Vinyl community. This is Tommy, and welcome to another musical adventure. And today's adventure is really a tribute to the now late, Burt Bacharach. Burt Bacharach, one of the great pop songwriters, I use popular music, one of the great songwriters of popular music, who passed away this week. This is the Rhino 3 CD box set that came out in the late 90s. Kind of a great career overview. All the original artists singing the songs of Burt Bacharach, along with, of course, Hal David, who wrote so many of those great songs, and the artists that performed them. I mean, I guess famously, Dionne Warwick was one of the great interpreters of Burt Bacharach's music, and so many great songs. I mean, if you just look at the Dionne Warwick track, stuff like Walk On By, Say a Little Prayer, I mean, good night. I mean, just so many. Jackie DeShannon, of course, who did What the World Needs Now Is Love. Going back to Marty Robbins, Perry Como, the Shirelles, the Drifters, Gene Pitney, so many songs by Gene Pitney. And, of course, like I said, Dionne Warwick. Anyone Who Had a Heart, A House Is Not a Home, Brooke Benton, one of the great interpreters. Like I said, the list just is so vast. What's New Pussycat by Tom Jones. You know, like I said, I mean, I'm just randomly reading off tracks from this one box set. Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head by B.J. Thomas. This Guy's in Love with You, Herb Alpert. Arthur, the Arthur's Theme, Christopher Cross. That's a Burt Bacharach song. I'll Never Fall in Love Again, Dionne Warwick. I Just Don't Know What to Do with Myself, which is Tommy Hunt, who did that. The White Stripes did that song. That's What Friends Are For, On My Own, Patti LaBelle and Michael McDonald, which was a huge hit. I mean, Burt Bacharach had so many hit songs from the 50s, 60s, 70s, into the 80s, and even into the 90s when he collaborated with Elvis Costello. If you've never heard the track God Give Me Strength by Elvis Costello and Burt Bacharach, oh my goodness, what a just a huge, fantastic song. Burt Bacharach was known for that sort of arrangement. I always think of the flugelhorns and that sort of soft touch that he added. And of course, I'm just going to show some of my Burt Bacharach albums. Burt Bacharach plays his hits on the Cap label. Walk On By, Trains and Boats and Planes, What's New Pussycat. There's always something there to remind me. There's always something there to remind me of the many hits of Burt Bacharach. You know, his loss, and Burt was 94 years old. Burt Bacharach was just a giant among songwriters and arrangers. Just so many hits. Burt Bacharach's greatest hits: What the World Needs Now, I'll Never Fall in Love Again, This Guy's in Love with You, Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, Living Together, Growing Together, and more. Of course, the more would be songs like, I Say a Little Prayer, Alfie, They Long to Be Close to You. I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, you know, you just can't really find a bad track. Now, one of the albums I wanted to spotlight in talking about Burt Bacharach, and this is kind of one I wanted to save out. This is called Saturday Sunshine. Now, those of you who know this album, it's sort of a rundown of hits. There's the track listing for you, and there's a bio on the back here. One of the reasons I wanted to show this album was just for the uniqueness of it, and not that it's particularly rare or anything like that, but this album was executive producer Robert E. Dempster in association with Continental Production Company, a division of Continental Dynamics. And if you look on the back here, there's the Cap label. Cap, of course, a subsidiary of MCA. But right here, Abbott. Abbott. Now, what is Abbott? Abbott is a pharmaceutical company, and right here on the back of the album is an ad for Placidol. Uh, if time is the criterion to inspire your confidence, you can rest assured with Placidol. This is Saturday Sunshine, Burt Bacharach's drug pharmaceutical LP. Now, there were quite a few of these. Burt Bacharach was not the only one involved. And I'm not really sure of the history. These came out in the early 70s. And I believe maybe that drug reps, in an effort to be hip with young doctors and nurses, maybe handed record albums out. And Burt Bacharach's Saturday Sunshine album is the Placidol album. Just to give you an idea of where things were. I guess stranger things have happened in musical history. But there's a series of these, and there's other artists. But if you know of any, if you have any of these albums, like I said, and I think the original albums came with an insert that was an advertisement for Placidol. But if you have any of these albums, comment down there. Tell me if you have them, what they are. I'm sure there's a series of collectors out there that just really go for things like this. Like I said, they're not. I don't think they're particularly rare or anything like that. They're not really hard to find, and you've probably seen this at your local thrift, maybe like a lot of Burt Bacharach albums, but never really noticed what it was. But yeah, the Burt Bacharach's Placidol album. Comment down there if you have this or that you know of others. We'll take an informal poll for my watchers. Hey, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, if it's your first time here and you're a Burt Bacharach fan, come along, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. I talk about a lot of different music, including the great music of Burt Bacharach, and just wanted to pay tribute to one of the great music writers that ever lived. Like I said, an absolute giant amongst writers, respected by almost everyone. Anyone who's ever written music, anyone that's ever arranged music, Burt Bacharach has been a part of it. This is a good place to start if you can find a copy of this. I don't know how or if this is still in print or not. It came out in '98 on Rhino. But if you're wanting to dip your toes into the waters of Burt Bacharach and his music, this is a fantastic way to go. Like I said, 3D set with a nice book and a bio in it. Very, very, very much worth your time and effort. And just a really, really cool set. But Burt Bacharach, one of the great writers, so many hits, so many great songs. I'll probably be listening to a lot of his music over the weekend and enjoying it and being reminded of what a great writer he was. So I wanted to take a moment and just salute Burt Bacharach and just all the great songs he wrote, and thank him for it, because there were quite a few. Thanks for watching, guys. And maybe next week we'll have a little bit more upbeat stuff. We'll see. Thanks for watching. See you next time.